I don't want to buy that anymore. I don't want to support that anymore. I'm not going to pay to see your show if that's all you're talking about. When do we as a people come together and say enough is enough?
You got to get to that point. More enough is enough. You got to hit everybody. Right now, it's only hitting certain people at certain times. You got to hit you till you really feel it. Yo, enough is enough.
Impact. 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 In fact, my hustle is intact. In fact, my hustle is intact. In fact, my hustle is intact. My muscle tough as the hustle, the numbers is just that. And I'ma keep winning and sit back. I love the feeling of killing them with that. Attacking the process, tackling topics, master synopsis. This the residual impact, yeah.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jamichael Moore.
And it's your man, Brandon Gio.
And we are the Residual Impact Podcast. Here we inspire others to find the greatness within themselves
and apply it to their communities.
Just like that.
Let's grow.
Come on, brother, man. Well, hey, B, this is episode
14. Let's get it.
14?
Can you believe we've been doing this for 14 weeks straight?
When you put it like that, my brother.
All gas, no brakes.
Consistency.
Yes, sir.
That's amazing.
It is amazing.
That's something I think we should clap our hands for because we did it. We are here.
Let's go.
We got how many subscribers now?
41.
Shout out to all 41 of you beautiful
all 41
people.
of y'all.
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, we getting there.
Yes, sir, we are.
We definitely getting there.
One step at a time.
Most definitely. Wasn't that a Jordan Sparks song?
I think so. Was it? What's that? I'm not even gonna try to sing that, but I think it was something.
I think it was a Jordan Sparks song. I used to be a huge Jordan Sparks fan back in the day until she got married, because it should have been me. Bruh. But it's okay. It's okay. Now I'm not even going. You know what I'm saying, like, live on that because it is what it is. You know.
What happened to Kelly Rowland though? Like,
Kelly. Honestly, when it comes to celebrities, man, I got a hierarchy. You know what I'm saying? Kelly will always be my boo, even though I believe she's married and she has 2 kids. You know. Yeah. I don't want to break up a happy home, so I'll admire from afar.
You're right. So who next then?
As of right now, number 1 on my list, Ari Lennox.
Ari Lennox. Okay.
Ari Lennox. If anybody knows me, like y'all really know me, y'all know I love me some Ari Lennox. And I've been listening to Ari Lennox since she dropped her first EP like years ago. Backseat was my number 1 jam. Like that was my joint right there.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that song.
I mean, go give her a shout out, bro. I mean, might as well go and put your plug in. Hey,
I did it before.
Okay.
I don't know if I want to do it. I don't know if I want to do it again, man. Because Ari, Courtney, we on a first name basis over here. Courtney, what's good? You already know the deal.
Oh man.
You already know the deal.
I ain't mad at it. I'm not mad at it.
If I slide in them DMs, Courtney, this me right here is Brandon Gio. You know what I'm saying? We can make something happen.
The one and only.
The one and only.
I ain't mad at it, brother. Shoot your shot, man.
Yep. Next on the line. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not, but I do have a list.
Until she says she's married, and then you gotta go down.
Pretty much. I mean, because one of my friends and I, we was talking about it, and like I said, if y'all really know me, y'all know I love me some Ari Lennox, and he was like, "Man, you just pushed Chloe Bailey to the side." I was like, "Well, Chloe's up there, but I mean, she is mad young. Mm-hmm. She's nice to look at, but she's pretty young. So I would say, if anything, she's at the bottom of my list, mostly because of age. But next in line, I would definitely say after Ari Lennox, Kelly's always gonna have a special place in my heart. Mm-hmm. And then I would say Normani, and Justine Skye.
Oh, okay. So you really do got
I got a list. I got a list.
Hey, one of them gonna come through. All right.
I sure hope so. Because every time I find out, like, Justine Skye just got out of a relationship. So, you know what I'm saying? When I found that out, I'll be like, let me slide in them DMs real quick. No, I'm just kidding.
Man.
I'm not a habitual DM slider. You know what I'm saying? I make it a habit not to, being that guy.
Yeah.
You understand?
But hey, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
You're absolutely right. But I'm the type of person who believes that if I'm going to shoot my shot at a celebrity, I want to be the type of person who can receive everything that comes with dealing with a celebrity.
That's true.
And 9 times out of 10, from what I've seen, it's rare that you see like celebrity women messing with guys who aren't celebrities.
Yeah.
But the other way around, like you'll see a lot of celebrity men messing around with women who are not famous.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
Unless they're like IG famous or something like that.
But you never know. They might want a brother who's not famous to, keep that little low key, vibe with him. But then that's going to make you famous, I guess.
It will. And then that'll make us famous.
Hold on.
We're going to the top. Who's DM should I slide in? No, I'm just kidding.
Yo, that's wild. That was
it is wild. But hey, we off to a great start today, man.
Yes.
I love the energy. I'm
Yes.
digging this. So with that being said, man, how was your week?
Man, my week was great. My week kind of, my birthday was last week.
Right.
So, we still continued on. I got a lot of love throughout the week still. Got some gifts as well.
Okay.
I got an iPad, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go.
Listen,
I was waiting for him to announce that.
Come on, I gotta say it, man. Feels good. I got the little Apple Pencil. For somebody that wasn't really on the Apple, and I'm starting to grow on me.
Boy, because you a diehard Android.
Yeah, man. Shout out to all my Android users.
Diehard Android.
But I'm not gonna lie to you. It's a lot more ease of use. It's way more. I feel like my creativity is a lot higher with this. It's weird, but yeah. Other than that, this week it did go by fast. I feel like it again, but I'm blessed, brother. I'm still here. I'm happy. Feel like I gave out a lot of great advice to those people that are around me. They impacted me as well as I impacted them. So
of course,
it was all good, man.
Hey, speaking of impact, man, that's great. That's amazing. It's nice to know that I've impacted you enough to influence your decision in getting an iPad.
I can't even lie, brother. You really, real talk, brother. The reason I probably got this iPad in front of me is because of you. I can't even, there's really nobody else that I can tell that made me want to get an iPad. Because I didn't even think about it. I don't know about none of this stuff until you taught me. So, hey, shout out to you, brother.
All the editing I do, even the podcast. I edit the podcast on the iPad, the video, the audio, all of that.
Yeah.
It just comes in handy. And every time we shoot the episode, for those of y'all watching on YouTube, you see the iPad right in front of me.
Yeah.
I got this, all the time just so I can look at my notes and make sure we're going over everything in order. And got links to, this could be any tablet, honestly. I don't want to just constantly shout out the product because they ain't cut us a check. Yet. But y'all need to cut us a check.
Come on now, bro.
Straight up. Apple, if y'all listening, if y'all watching, if y'all stumble upon this video, we promoting your products, cut us a check.
Just saying. Y'all got it. But that just makes me think of another thing too, B, is how we started with the simpleness of just our phones and the products that we did have, and it's now this is growth. To see this is another thing that's going to be used to grow us, and then I'm pretty sure you gonna get something else new. I'm gonna get something else new. We're gonna all put it together, and it's gonna just continue to grow. It's happening step by step by step.
Straight up. So honestly, the next new thing that I really want, man, I want a soundboard.
Yes, that's coming.
I want a soundboard, and I want XLR mics because I can't wait for the production quality.
Yeah.
Of the show to just be top tier, man.
Most definitely.
Funny enough, I went back and I rewatched episode 1. And to see us back in August when we shot episode 1 to now, it's November. We're on number 14.
Dude.
Talk about growth.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Our mannerisms, the way that we spoke, the way that we talked about certain topics. Just we've learned a lot.
Yes.
In these 14 weeks.
I agree.
And we're going to continue learning. We're going to continue improving. We're going to continue growing.
Yep. Started from zero, man.
We did.
And look at us.
It's crazy.
So, but hey, man, with that being said, breaking it down for us like this, how was your week?
My week was cool. It was kind of hectic, actually. It started off really well. The whole week went by well. Right. Don't get me wrong, but it was just nonstop. So much so that, I put the podcast out a little later than usual. But, all that matters is that it's out, right?
It is out.
But it was full of work. Thanksgiving is around the corner and Christmas is right after that. So I'm trying to, get as many hours as possible.
It's that time of year.
And it's crazy because with all that we do for Thanksgiving and Christmas, the bills don't stop.
They don't.
So it's just you're taking on these extra expenses on top of bills that you already have. That's why I was I really don't care to, celebrate Christmas the way that a lot of other people do with the tree and all that stuff. I'm just why? Just so I can buy stuff.
That's what it boils down to.
I mean, I don't know, man.
Like I went in the store the other week and it was already like the way how many people were in there. It's already that vibe of Christmas and just holiday time.
Boy, it's been that vibe, yo. I was at Atlantic Station last night, man. Atlantic Station already has their ice skating rink up.
Dude, see what I'm saying?
They got the giant Christmas tree in the middle of the lawn. Like, if you've ever been to Atlantic Station, you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
They put the ice skating rink up every year. I thought it was December through February, but I guess it's November through February because
it gets early each year, brother.
So
when you look at it from like a business standpoint, I see why they doing it. It's all a sale. It's all like to get people to come out and buy.
That's exactly it, though. Like, why wait till like one time a year to always buy something for somebody? If you want to buy something for somebody, just buy it throughout the year. Why I gotta wait for Christmas to put something under the tree? Like, if I want to give somebody a gift, I just want to give them a gift. And then shortly afterwards, it's my birthday.
Bruh.
Capricorn season is approaching. January, let's go.
January.
So my birthday is shortly after that. And then Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Why do I want to get a gift for somebody for Valentine's Day? Just to, hey, I bought you some flowers. I bought you a gift. Let's go out to dinner.
Because it fits the mold. It's a part of the tradition, apparently.
I want to break that tradition. At least with me in my household, whenever I do get married. Like, I'm the type of person, like, I'm a giver. I'll give gifts year round. Why do I? So whoever I end up dating, whoever I end up marrying, or is she going to be mad that I give her gifts year round except for Valentine's Day?
I don't know, B, and I never tried to find out either.
Like, imagine if you and your wife lives like that.
Look,
man.
I never tried to find out. I will say, though, we did agree for Christmas time that we're not buying gifts for other people, nor are we looking to get gifts for ourselves. Because, like, that's just an extra bill.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're not trying to go out and just spend extra money while we're trying to get out of debt. Like, that's the most important thing. But I never thought about Valentine's Day. I can't say that one.
Yeah, see, so this year, I'm not in a relationship. So for Christmas, I don't have to worry about getting anything for a woman other than my mother.
Okay.
Which, by the way, she wants an iPhone.
Got to spend that bread.
A newer iPhone than what she newer.
Okay.
Granted, I mean, the iPhone I bought her, like the one that she currently has, I bought her years ago. But just me personally, I mean, she's always told me she's not the type to constantly want to keep up with tech and stuff like that. You know, she can have a phone for a few years, and she's had the same iPhone for 3 years.
Oh, it's time.
Is it really time?
It's time. Think about it. How long you had yours for?
That's different.
Hey.
No. I'm gonna stop you right there. It's different.
Rules, brother.
It's different.
How so?
Because I am into tech. I literally watch tech videos on YouTube.
This is true.
I know the latest phones that are coming out before they come out because I'm in tune with the tech community. Right? You see in front of me right now, I got all this tech. I got wearable tech. You know what I'm saying? Like,
this is true.
I'm into tech. She's not.
But you know, mom see you around with all the latest tech. She's like, okay, yo, he popping up with all this new stuff. Yo, I'm still here with the with the old joint, probably with the home button on it.
She does still have a home button on it.
She's like, yo, my son don't even got the home button.
No, I don't.
So come on now, B. That's how she looking at you right now.
Listen, I love you, Mom. I'm not gonna tell you what I got you for Christmas. It may or may not be an iPhone, but you know,
man,
we keep it pushing.
That is funny, man. She said, I don't want no home button no more. I'm tired of this. That's funny.
Hey, but it's the 8 Plus though. Yes, it has the home button, but it's the 8 Plus. It's still a nice size, you know what I'm saying? She got a nice screen and all of that.
She said it's time though. She said it's time for an upgrade, man.
Anyway.
Ah man, what we got this week, man, to get to the people this week, B?
This week, you know, I don't really have any like major news other than some of the foolishness that's been going on online right now, and two main topics that I want to talk about. First off, this is something I don't want to spend too much time on, especially the topic itself, like what actually happened. But Danny Lee and the baby.
Oh my God!
They have been trending for days since last Monday because of what's been going on. I don't even want to cover it because if y'all are listening, y'all already know what happened. If you don't know what happened, I say go on YouTube, go on Twitter. There's tons of videos out there.
It's all around.
It's all there. But for those of y'all who know exactly what happened, see, what I don't get is why Why? This man has so many different baby mamas. And no matter what happened, Danny Lay decided to lay down with that man, have unprotected relations with that man, and get pregnant.
Right.
Like, you see how he treats his other baby mamas.
Right.
Especially the main chick, I guess, Mimi. You know, you see how he treats her. And you are comfortable enough to become next in line. Like, I don't get it. And I don't know why this has to be a cultural thing, because apparently this is how us black men are looked at now. And not even just from the baby, not even just because of the baby, but we are seen as breeders in a sense. And I guess it kind of stems down from slavery. Like, I was having a talk with my friend Victoria about this a couple of nights ago. Like, I don't know why it has to be like this, why we can't get away from this negative picture that's been painted about us. How we can't just like settle down with a woman and marry the woman and have kids with the woman. And marriage don't always mean that you're going to stay. I get that. I understand that. But it's much better to, in my opinion anyway, especially if you want to get married. I know not everybody does, so I'm trying to cover all bases with this. But in my opinion, it's much better to marry before you carry. Like, for real. Like, Danny Lay in this situation has no sense of like security at all coming from the baby unless she takes him to child support court.
Right.
And that has to be, you know, cleared by a judge and all of that. And I guess it may happen. I don't know. Only time will tell. But I don't know, man. What are your takes on everything that you know of the situation so far? What you've seen or heard?
Well, first, the only thing that I've heard this week about it that, you know, kind of led up to that whole situation was apparently this all kind of stemmed from when apparently she had some Plan B delivered to the household, and he didn't like that. Like you said, I guess they've been laying together since the baby was born, you know, after 3 months. Of course, I don't like the situation. I think it's one of those things where both of them are at fault. You know, look at the things that he raps about.
Of course.
I mean, those things that he raps about, they don't come from just thin air. Clearly, that's somewhat of his lifestyle. So I think that when it comes to that, I feel like that's what she should have looked at a little more, versus just kind of like the flash and like the, you know, the. You know, because when they was together, it was like people was looking like, oh, that's goals, like you know how that goes. I can't
stand that, man.
You know, oh, that's goals for them to be together, and that's how I want. But then when people see how it really goes down, it's like now she's looking at like, you know, just another baby mom added to his list.
Right.
But for him, you know, it is a bad stigma upon black men. Like you said, we're looked at as breeders now. We're looked at as we can't really hold down a relationship. We just cheat. We just all those different negative things that's not necessarily true. Yeah. And now it's like now his kids are gonna have to grow up in a separate household. And to me, that's something that I never liked. I've seen that a lot growing up. I have too. And for me, I can tell you, I've been blessed enough I grew up in the household with my parents together, and I can tell by just the way that I was brought up, having both aspects of them together, it has helped me as a man grow, as well as for my sister. And when you split that up, it's like, yes, you may have great co-parenting things, but when y'all are in that same household together, it's something that happens to a kid that really helps them and gives them something that you can't necessarily give them when you're separate. Yeah. And it's unfortunate. I never like to see that type of stuff happen. Right. But I mean, unfortunately that's the culture that it breeds. I mean, look at his music. He's technically kind of breeding that stuff. He's putting out that stuff and getting millions of views. That's gonna ultimately bring that cycle there. And
you and I have already talked about the music already, about, you know, how influential hip hop culture is. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not even just him. I mean, this has been going on for decades. Yes. And it's just, it blows my mind. Like, where's the sense of accountability on both parties' behalf? Right. On Danny Lay's behalf of her knowing that he has multiple baby mamas and she chose to allow him in her raw. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And even on IG Live, the day after he called the cops on her, she was talking about you busted me last night. After all of this, you're still letting the man hit, you're still letting him hit raw, and you're still letting him bust. And come on. Where does the accountability fall on her behalf? And men, you're not off the hook for this one either. Where does the accountability fall on his behalf? Mm-hmm. Like, it blows my mind, man. Why is baby mama and baby daddy culture so prevalent in the black community? Why? Why do we have more baby mothers and baby fathers than we do have husbands and wives? Like, it blows my mind how I can look at other cultures, other communities, and they're progressing so far in life. Like you said, with the 2-parent households, there's so much more you can get done with a 2-parent household than you can with just a single parent.
Right.
And I understand that things happen.
Right.
Like sometimes, you can plan on being a parent and things never happen the way that you plan it. Mm-hmm. I get that. I understand that. But it's like, where are the standards?
Right.
When it comes to black people in general, man, I feel like we just need to make better decisions overall with who we sleep with, who we get into relationships with, who we decide to give our time and energy to. Like, right. Why are we not out here vetting everybody? We really need to be vetting people. Guys, you need to vet these women who you meet. Make sure that there's somebody who's capable of being a wife, capable of being a mother to your child. Because like we see stuff on social media all the time where, people will talk about how looks won't raise your children, mm-hmm. but, your attitude, your mindset, stuff like that will raise your children. Mm-hmm. And that goes for both men and women. Ladies, what are we doing as far as the men that y'all are ending up with? Like, I don't know, man. Like, we talked about last week or the week before regarding Sierra's prayer. Mm-hmm. How many women are out there like really still messing with a future mm-hmm. when they say that they want a Russell Wilson?
Yeah.
When do we as a people decide that we want to change what it is that we're doing so that we can actually progress in life?
Yeah.
As far as building communities, we can't build communities off of single parent households.
Yeah.
Like, there's no structure in that, no real reliable structure in that.
Yeah.
Because if the man isn't present, like, you don't have the protection around. You know what I'm saying? Like, anybody could just infiltrate. Like, brothers, we need to do something different, man. We need to make sure that we're changing our approach when it comes to getting with women. And I hate to say it this way, but just like as a culture, man, like I feel like we care about sex way too much, mm-hmm. and we don't think about the consequences, especially when it comes to vetting a partner.
Yeah. I mean, I think a part of the reason, there's a bunch of reasons, I think, but one of the things is when you say vetting, I think, unfortunately, in the vetting process, they put in sex. That's one of the ways that they probably vet. They were like, man, she's either good or she ain't, or let me just try to see. And then, of course, that leads to other things. But then I also think that environment plays a huge key role, because if you see around in your environment and if you don't know better, you can't do better. So if I see, hey, that's what they did, or this is the norm around where I'm at, I'm just going to kind of fall into that trap. I'm going to fall into that same cycle that I've been seeing. And unfortunately, it's going to breed the same things. And then, hey, I mean, you have a vicious cycle that it keeps going down the bloodline.
And that's what I don't get, man. Like, I'm a huge advocate of breaking generational curses.
Yeah.
Like, it's in my Instagram bio. Like, that's something I strongly believe in. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to do everything that I do as far as a YouTube channel, mm-hmm. even before you and I launched this podcast. But that was one of the reasons why I agreed to do the podcast, mm-hmm. so that we can have a voice to speak to the people.
Yeah, most
like,
definitely.
I really want to break generational curses. Like, it's something that I want to see us do. Like, I love being black. I'm so glad that I'm black. I'm so glad that I was not born in another person's body. You know what I'm saying? I love my skin. I love melanin. Like, I love all of y'all, you know what I'm saying? And this is no disrespect to anybody else who listens to us or watches us who is not black. But this right here, this message specifically is not for y'all. This is for our people. This is something that we need to change as we take a look in the mirror at ourselves. I'm not perfect. And I'm not saying that I am perfect. I know Mike ain't perfect either. But one thing I can highly respect about Mike, other than the fact that we've been friends for years, is how he has such a loving relationship with his wife. Like, the two of them, y'all two together, man, y'all are amazing, and I love to see it.
Thank you.
I wish we had, as a community, I wish we had more marriages. I'm sick and tired of being invited to baby showers, bruh.
You real?
I've been invited to way more baby showers than weddings.
That's real.
I'm tired of that.
That is real.
I was invited to a baby shower last weekend. Did I go? No. I chose to do something different than go to the baby shower, and that's no disrespect to whoever baby shower it was. But I didn't want to see that. I didn't want to go.
And I agree with you on that one. I think this is really tough. I think mentorship is really important because, you know, it starts, like you said, it starts at the home. But then if you're not able to get that at home, you got to be able to seek some type of mentorship, because unfortunately, if you're getting mentored from the streets or from just stuff that you've seen in your environment that's not the right thing, then you don't know. You don't really see it as being a problem.
Right.
And then if you don't see it as being a problem, you're just going to do the same thing. Because trust me, I know some people that when I look at them, I'm like, man, like, no, this is not it. Like,
yeah.
You know, I wish you could have went in another direction, but that's where they want to go. And hey, I mean, that's the result of it, unfortunately, but it's tough. It's one of those situations where I think we have to pray. We got to pray as a people. I pray for my people.
Most definitely.
But I think you got to get some mentorship. You got to listen to stuff like this. You got to, you do have to have people around you that's pouring into you that kind of like help steer you in the right direction.
That's definitely needed. And I really hope that we can, as a people, you know, do stuff like that and come together as a collective and really stop the foolishness, man.
I agree.
I'm really so sick and tired of seeing baby mamas and baby fathers everywhere. And, you know, that's no disrespect to anybody who is a baby mama or a baby father. You know what I'm saying? Especially like my friends. Like, I love y'all all the same. There's no disrespect to y'all. I understand that things happen. But this message right here is for the people who don't think that it can happen to them. And in reality, it actually can. Like, you just be careful.
Yeah.
Let's take precautions. Let's strap up. Stop going raw. If you can't see her, if you can't put a ring on this woman's finger, if y'all both believe in marriage and you can't put a ring on this woman's finger, why are you going in her raw? If you can't see her becoming your wife first and then becoming the mother of your children, why are you going in her raw? Save that, man.
That's the thing, though, B. It's like, how can these young men, how do we teach them to see so far ahead? Because sometimes it's like, it's in the moment. It's like, man, if you don't work to get this girl, you don't put in this time and effort, she's beautiful. Yo, that's your goal, is to get her.
Right.
That's all they see. How do we get them to see beyond that? Because that's the problem. They're not really seeing that far out, or they're not really thinking that far out. So that's where I'm noticing an issue.
I think the way we get them to see this stuff is just by showing them examples of this. Like, this is this what you want? Do you want to be a baby and have multiple baby mamas? Do you want to be a future? I think this man is on like 8 baby mothers.
Something like that.
Do you want to be a future? Do you want to be a Nick Cannon and have multiple baby mamas? He said that marriage wasn't his thing. All right, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. If that's the case, why don't we try to set up? And I think I learned this from some people who do kind of practice the poly lifestyle.
Yeah.
And which ain't for me. I'm a one woman man. But hey, if y'all practice poly, hey, that is what it is. That's for y'all, not for me. But I've learned this from some people who I know who do practice poly lifestyle, right?
Uh-huh.
If you're a guy and you want to have multiple women, multiple wives, mm-hmm. and have multiple kids with those women, mm-hmm. make sure that y'all all live in the same area, or be the type of brother who can afford to put everybody in the same community, mm-hmm. so that your kids have access to the exact same school. They have access to you and your time as a man, as a father. You can have time spent with all of your kids at once.
Right.
And your kids don't have to worry about growing up separate from their siblings. You know, like stuff like that. I mean, people say all the time, like, oh, these people are celebrities. They have the money to take care of the kids. Money's not everything when it comes to raising a family.
That is true.
You need to spend time with your kids.
Yes, sir.
You know, there's so many different examples out there for these young men to see and just be like, listen, I may not have this example in my life, but shoot, like, I would love to be able to show somebody, you know, my example whenever I do get married.
Stop the cap.
I don't know if that's ever going to happen at this point, but you know,
it will.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm not really, but
it will.
I mean, when I do get married, whenever that happens, I do want to be an example to a lot of, you know, young brothers out there. Like, yo, this can happen for you. You know, find a woman who you love being with. Find a woman who you love, who loves you equally, if not more, or you don't love her, but like whatever. Find a woman who you can fall in love with.
Yeah.
See yourself with for the rest of your life. Because I really don't believe in divorce. Mm-hmm. I don't like the concept of divorce unless like DV is involved or cheating.
Right.
Other than that, man, like find somebody who is a perfect example. Which like I'm glad that you mentor kids. Mm-hmm. You know, I'll be there soon once I get my life, you know, figured out. But I'll definitely be there soon because I want to be an example to the youth as well, man. Mm-hmm. Like teach these young brothers out here that you can definitely live a happy life without having to worry about being a player. You know what I'm saying? Like so many celebrities, so many rappers have made it cool to just, you know, be a player. Be the man, you know what I'm saying, who gets all the women and want to sleep with all these women and have unprotected relations with all these women and then have kids everywhere. Yeah. That's the direction that we're going, and I really don't like it, man.
And see, that's the thing, though. It's like these rappers or this music industry, it idolizes that part, but it doesn't really show what's after you have been a player, after you sleep with all these women, after you have all these baby mamas. They don't really show that part. They just show the beginning stages of, oh, man, you need to get you a bunch of women. Go ahead, man. Let that girl be a side piece, or what they call it now, a sneaky link. But they got all these different names. I can't keep up. But yeah, it's like they show all of this stuff and they don't show really what's on the back end.
Right.
So, you know, my thing that I would tell all of our young brothers and sisters as well, you know, one of the things that I thought to myself before I got married was, what is it that I can do? Like, let me fall so in love with this person, like, and find out everything good about her and, you know, get to know her in so many different ways that's outside of sex. Mm-hmm. So that when I do have sex, it's like the prize. That's the gift. There's nothing more that I can do because I've figured out everything and I know this is really what I want. And let that be the last thing, because we all know what that's the greatest thing. Well, it can be the greatest thing. But it's like, let me get so consumed with this person that, man, like, that's just an extra part. Like, I love everything about this person.
And that's beautiful, man.
But that's hard to do. That's hard to do if you haven't been taught that. That's hard to do if you have your boys around you. Yo, you ain't hit that yet? If you have boys around you saying, yo, come on, bro, like, or talking down on you for not having it. It's so many things I know that plays a factor for young men. It makes it tough on them to not go for it and to not, like, you know, put themselves in that situation. Yeah. So it's a lot. I like you said, I like the fact that I do mentor, because that's one of the reasons why, because I can pour into them and hopefully steer them in the right direction. At the end of the day, they make their own decisions, but if I can pour something in you that maybe when you get into that situation, you can hear and be like, wait, hold on, I've heard this before. Yeah. Let me turn around this street or something. Let me not go in that direction, because that can be a problem.
And with that, man, I'm glad that you brought that up, because I just want to say I'm grateful for brothers like you in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of my married friends out there, you know, especially if y'all listen to this podcast, all of my friends who are married, all of my friends who are fathers, you know, I understand certain things didn't work out with the mothers of your children, but shout out to all my friends who are fathers and all my friends who are husbands, because I learned a lot from y'all. Like, I really do. Mike, I learned a lot from you. And, you know, you're loving marriage, man. And that's something that I can't wait to experience whenever I find that one. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. And also, shout out to the women. Like, a lot of my women friends out there who are married, you know, I definitely learn a lot from y'all and your husbands, and, you know, y'all's relationships. Like, it's a beautiful thing, man. Yeah. It's definitely a beautiful thing. And to all of, you know, my friends who are mothers, again, I understand that things happen. You know, things don't always go the same way that you plan. But, you know, again, for those of y'all who are not mothers out there, or fathers for the guys, there's equal opportunity to make sure that we take precaution.
Yeah.
If you're not looking to be a parent right now, why are you, as men, why are you laying down with a woman unprotected? And as a woman, why are you allowing that man to lay down with you unprotected? There has to be a conversation had somewhere. And I think that that's one thing that we're definitely missing. Because for some reason, it just became super popular. Be like, yo, I'm going in raw. I'm team raw, or whatever the case may be. And it's just like you said, it's in the heat of the moment. Nobody's thinking, oh, let me grab a rubber. And the women aren't like, yo, let me be on the pill or whatever, which I understand that could alter hormones and stuff like that. A lot of women who I've talked to, some of my friends, they don't want to take it because of that. Yep. So
I understand that.
I definitely understand that. But fellas, rubbers do not mess with our hormones. Nope. Strap up, please. If you're gonna be out there, you know what I'm saying, wilding in this situation, and this is not an excuse for y'all to be out there having, relations with multiple women, strap up. Yeah. Please.
I agree. And just learn from the mistakes that you've seen from others around you. I think that's one of the biggest things that has helped me out as far as when I've seen like broken marriages or broken homes, that has helped steered me in the right direction because I've seen what it looks like to be done wrong. And that, it scares me because I don't want that. I looked at that and I was like, nah, I don't want that. And I seen that before marriage. I seen that as a kid. So I was like, yeah, I don't want no parts of that. So allow other people's mistakes to put you in the right direction. Yeah. Because sometimes that can help you as well.
But all in all, I really wish that our community, our culture, would stop perpetuating negative stereotypes, because whether we believe it or not, this is how everybody else looks at us. Yes. This is how a lot of us look at us. Fellas, y'all, I'm holding y'all accountable, man. We need to cut the nonsense out. Ladies, y'all too. Definitely, man. Like, that's all I really have to say about this topic, man, because I could go on about this all day. I don't have enough stats for that right now, but another thing I wanted to touch on that's really negative in our culture, man, that's really negatively impacting our culture, our society, our communities. Dog, what's with all the violence, man?
It's a great question right there.
What is going on with all the violence? Why do we have to not only be seen as a bunch, like as a group of people who can't get married, want to spread our seed everywhere as men, or want to open our legs to a whole bunch of men as women? You know what I'm saying? Why do we have to go not only promoting that or being seen as that, but why do we also have to be seen as people who want to scream Black Lives Matter when cops kill us, but we don't want to say the same thing when we kill each other? Why do we have to kill each other at that? You know what I'm saying?
That's a question. I don't know. As a person, like, I don't know. I ask myself this, as well. I personally don't like guns. I only think guns belong on video games. I can understand being in the military, why you need them, blah, blah, blah. I get it. But to me, I don't think that amount of power should be in a person's hand, especially directing it at another human. But as you can see, like, that's one of the things that take majority of us out in the community. Yeah. It's guns. It's violence. I don't know why. Well, I do know partially. We can go back to the music industry as why it's promoted the way it's promoted. You got gang culture. It's jealousy, hatred, envy, all those different things. I think people not really understanding the power of their mind, not understanding their worth. And because when you don't know your worth, you're willing to just take someone else's life. You don't value your own life, so you'll easily take someone else's life. Right. And then I think all those things compiled, it makes a bad recipe, and that's why you see so much violence in today.
It's just something that, man, it's
disheartening.
I can't even really speak too much on it because I as you know, and as some of our listeners and viewers know, I've been shot at before. If the shooter was successful, I wouldn't be here tonight. You would have only known me for a few years, and then I probably would have been a distant memory to a lot of people. I really want for us as a people, as a culture, to unite on more than just one front. And that one front being, No more baby daddy, baby mama culture. Like, let's get married and have families and raise families together and build our communities up. But I want us to continue to live. Black men deserve to grow old. I'm so sick and tired of all of us. Let me not say all. I'm so sick and tired of however many of us there are running around thinking that we're the man with a gun in our hand or can't do anything without a gun, or just constantly all I got to do is like, you know, pack a... I don't even know what to say with this, man. Like, it's heartbreaking. It really is. And I thought I was prepared, but I'm not.
No, it's all good. I think it's one of the biggest things is it boils down to division. Like, if I don't see you as my brother, or if I don't see you as a valued human, I'm not going to care about you. I'm not going to care if I take your life, or if I don't, like I said, I don't care about my own. But when you have unity amongst each other, you're not going to do that. That's why when you see a lot of times in other cultures, I'll speak about the Asian culture. Like, one of the things is you see them, they stick together. Yeah. Like, they have their own community. They have a lot of their stuff together. But for some reason in the black community, it's like it's me versus you. If you wasn't from my hood, or I didn't grow up directly with you, it's kind of like I'm watching out for you. Like, when you think about when you walk down the street, you have some people that, you know, what's up, bruh? Mm-hmm. But then you have some people like, hold on, bruh, like, you know, I ain't looking at you. Like, what you looking at me like that for? Yeah. Like, my aunt, you know, she's from Chicago, and she would tell me about how, like, the dynamic is so different from here versus there. You know how, like, you'll be driving in your car, right? And you'll be like, you know, you tell somebody to come on, you can go. Yeah. She was like, if you do that in Chicago, that's looked at as, like, you trying to set somebody up. They'll look at you crazy if you say, come on, go. Because that's like, oh, nah, they about to follow me and they about to take me out. It's like, it's just a whole nother mindset and different dynamic. And it's just crazy to even think, like, people think like that. So, I mean, we have to have unity in some way.
And it's funny how we used to rap about stuff like that all the time back in the 80s and early 90s, man. Like, one of the biggest songs, Queen Latifah, Unity. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was such a presence in our community. Yep. But, of course, you and I, we already covered why that music is not being played anymore. Yep. And it really breaks my heart, man. Like, I am so sick and tired of seeing us constantly leave this earth. Especially, you know what I'm saying, the brothers who don't get to grow old, the sisters who get taken out. Like, you know, man, I lost a friend of mine back in September. She was only 27. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't due to gun violence, but it was due to some sort of violence. You know what I'm saying? Right. I really don't like how we constantly want to always be seen as gangster. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying all of us, because that's not the picture that all of us are trying to paint. But so many of us swear up and down till we're blue in the face that we're not gangster unless we're walking around with gats, unless we're aiming it at each other, unless we're pulling the trigger, unless we're taking out our ops. Yep. Yo, he a op. Why is he a op? Why he gotta be a op? Why? Because he looked at you a certain way? Because he dissed your mans? You remember the movie Friday, right? Yeah. Classic. Hood classic. Yeah. Ice Cube. You know what I'm saying? What happened at the end when he had that fight with Debo? He was going to grab a gun and go after him, right? Mm-hmm. But who stopped him and told him that wasn't the way?
His father.
Exactly. His father, Craig's father, had to tell him that a real man doesn't use a gun to resolve a situation, man. You use your fists, if anything. If you got to go the violent route, use your fists. Mm-hmm. You might win some, you might lose some. But you live to fight another day.
Yep. You don't see that, though, no more. People scared to fight. Well, some people. But
shoot, because I'm not. But, I mean, real talk, man, you're right. So many people are scared to fight. They don't know how. Yeah. We're so quick to grab a gun. Yeah. Why?
Because you scared. I mean.
True.
Because you scared. You don't want to get beat up. But then, why are you in that situation? Why are you even... And we're not talking about, like, self-defense on some stuff like that, but, like, I don't know. My take on guns, I don't like guns, period, so.
I don't fear them, but I don't hate them either. Mm-hmm. I understand, especially if you need to protect your home. Yeah. you know, or if you need to protect yourself while you're out. If you live in a carry state and you own a piece legally, you know what I'm saying, not illegally, but you legally own a license to carry.
Yeah.
But I'm sick and tired of all of us, or a good amount of us, like swearing up and down by a gun. We live by a gun. All we do is talk about guns. We rap about guns. We showcase guns. And a lot of us, especially a lot of the men, a lot of our brothers feel like they are nothing without a gun.
Yeah.
And I really want us to get away from that.
It's going to be tough because, I mean, well, I don't know how that would even happen. Because it's like, it's a part of people's life. Like, people talking about, I grab my scrap before I brush my teeth. You got songs out like that, right?
And it became such like a lifestyle, man. Have you ever seen the movie Tales from the Hood?
No. Seen Leprechauns from the Hood.
What? What did he say?
Say what?
Seen Leprechauns from the Hood. Is that the same thing?
No.
Oh.
Tales from the Hood, man. That's another hood classic. I mean, if you haven't seen it, I would say, if you're not into horror movies, don't watch it. But if you are, like, it is a horror movie, but the elements of the movie are pretty much just hood stories. Like, there was one particular story about I don't know if he was a councilman or he was running for mayor or something like that, but his life was taken by a bunch of racist cops, and he came back from the dead, and his tale was, a tale of revenge. He went after each of the cops that took him out, and at the very end, I mean, it was a good story. I don't want to ruin anything for anybody who hasn't seen that movie yet, but the main story, the overarching story, was about a group of gangsters who went to visit a morgue because they wanted to pick up some drugs. Like, they wanted to pick up drugs, but throughout the movie, it was referred to as the ish. Like, oh, we came here to get the ish. And the mortician, he was like, oh, the ish. I got it this way. I got it right over here. So as the mortician is leading the three gangbangers through the morgue, he's telling them stories of all the dead bodies that they're seeing in the morgue. So that's where all the tales came from. But the overarching story was at the very end, they found out that they weren't really in a morgue. It was a funeral home, not a morgue. They found out that they weren't really at a funeral home. I'm not going to say where they were, but let's just say it was a place where when they found out where they actually were, they pulled out their straps and they were useless. You and I could talk a little bit more about it off air because I don't want to ruin it for anybody who hasn't seen the movie.
Interesting.
But yeah, their guns were deemed useless in this situation. So it just goes to prove that, like, so many of us swear that a gun is just going to solve all of our problems when it really won't. So with that being said, man, I know that there's a lot of beef out there.
Yep. Because,
beef is seen as normal now, especially because of the hip hop community. And, I think rap beefs are healthy as long as that's just what it is. It's a battle of lyrics. It's a battle of, like, album sales. It's a battle of, like, yo, I'm on top of the rap game. You might not be, but I'm here because of my lyricism, my hard work, my sold out shows, my record sales, whatever.
Right.
That type of beef is healthy. But if we're going to have that type of beef in the rap world, why don't we just keep it in the music? Let's have rap battles. I'm a huge fan of battle rap. I love watching rap battles. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like a battle of the minds. Like, who has the best bars? Who has the best flow? Who can get the crowd more hype? You know what I'm saying? But when we take that beef, when we take those battles off of the music and we bring it to the real world, that's when stuff becomes deadly. And y'all already know where I'm about to go with this. This past week, we lost an iconic rapper, man. This dude was very influential in his community. And, even though he made it in the industry, he was very well known, he still heavily supported black businesses. He still heavily talked about owning your masters. And he sadly had his life taken while supporting a black business that he frequented often. So with that, I want to say R.I.P. to Young Dolph. Mm-hmm. And it's such a tragedy, you know, what happened to this brother. He was only 36 years old.
Young.
Very young.
Man, this one was, when I heard this, I was talking to somebody, and we was talking about something completely different. And when I seen it pop up on my phone, somebody texted me about it, I couldn't even focus no more. I was like, this one hit me. Cause I used to listen to a lot of his music or whatnot, and of course he didn't always talk about the most positive stuff. I'm not gonna hold him. I'm holding him accountable, but still, like you say, he was somebody who he liked to give back to people. He wanted to pour into young people. He would be in his own hood like it would be normal. He was very influential to a lot of people, and like it wasn't even like always about rap. Like I learned like just some investment stuff from him, and you know, about real estate and all that stuff. He taught people that, and so it was unfortunate to see like him passing. You know, this wasn't the first or second time that he has been shot at. Right. Both of them, which of course he survived both of them. But like you said, I mean, it was possibly from beef. You know, beef outside of rap or in rap. But it wasn't like that healthy beef. That healthy beef that was like competition. Right. That made you get better. It was that beef that was like, nah, this is street stuff. I want your life.
And with you mentioning that, man, it's like when I found out that he was shot, I was like, again? You know what I'm saying? Like, I found out on YouTube. Mm-hmm. So I heard that he was shot, but I didn't know that he had passed. Mm-hmm. So when I heard that he got shot, I was like, again? And it was kind of like the Boondocks. You ever watch the show The Boondocks on Adult Swim? Some episode. There was an episode where they had a rapper named Gangstalicious who was voiced by Mos Def. Mm-hmm. And it was pretty much the same reaction that I had. Like, Gangstalicious was known as being... Like, he was shot multiple times. Mm-hmm. So when it was on the news, I think Sway voiced himself on the Boondocks. Mm-hmm. And he was like, rapper Gangstalicious has been shot. And the two main characters on the Boondocks, Huey and Riley, were watching the news report. And I think Riley was like, again? And then here goes Sway talking about, yes, again. So okay. I'm not trying to joke about it, but you know, I'm joking about the Boondocks, not Dolph's situation. But that was my reaction. He got shot again. And it's like all I could think about was any possible beefs that he had. Because right after I heard that he got shot, I heard that there was a possibility that I think it was like somebody's grandma's house got shot. I don't know if it was Black Youngsters or Yo Gotti's. Like I don't remember. But I know that Dolph had beef with the both of them. Mm-hmm. So apparently if anything associated with Black Youngster, like a building or a business got shot up as a form of retaliation for Dolph, I can believe that's possible. Mm-hmm. But when is enough going to be enough, man? Like the rap beef is healthy when you're keeping it to music, but
it's not. I think at this point it's like I said, it's gonna be a cycle. Now it's like, all right, you got at ours, we gotta get at yours now. And you got young people that ain't mentally, they're not even developed yet. And you have old heads, hopefully now, some dumb old heads I call them, that say, hey, go get this person. They not gonna do it. They gonna send the young people who really ain't got no sense to go do it. And then, fortunately, some of them gonna get caught. Some of them might not make it. It's a cycle.
Yeah, for real, man. It's just the whole back and forth. Like, yo, I gotta go at your boys. You know, since I went at your boys are gonna try to come after me. Yep. And if you get me, my boys gotta retaliate. Yep. Yo, we have to end this cycle, man, because it's really sickening. It's really disheartening. And you know, if we're gonna have any sort of protection within our community, because from what I've watched on a lot of documentaries, when it came to gang culture, a lot of gangs started to protect the community. Yeah. But what it turned into, rather, was a battle of turf. Yeah. Who can control the community by controlling all the guns and the drugs in that community? Yo, who can be the baddest crew? Mm-hmm. Who can be the biggest crew? Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. Like, seeing a lot of beef, man, it's just unnecessary.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Us targeting each other is unnecessary.
It's pointless. Fighting over blocks and hoods that nobody owns. They don't own that. Like, bro, it's just a name. But, I mean, of course you were born there, but you don't own it.
Facts.
Like, and you gotta really, are you putting money into it? I'm not talking about drugs either. I'm talking about, like, are you putting real money into, like, helping it grow? But, I mean, it's dumb, bruh. It's dumb, and it's frustrating, but, you know, I can only speak from a distance because I'm not immersed into that culture or that environment. So I think at the same time, I still only have a certain perspective. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I can't speak on somebody that was raised in a certain type of environment like that. Their whole mentality is different.
Yeah, you're right about that. I just think it ties back into what you said earlier about how people need mentorship, how people need guidance. Mm-hmm. You only know what you know.
Yeah, that's true.
And if you're looking at certain things that are influencing you to be like, yo, I got ops, let me go get my ops. And if their boys try to come at me, I'm going to stay strapped. And hopefully my boys and we could take them out. Like, nah, we need to stop that.
Yeah.
We need to have more mentors out here, more people who can guide these young brothers, especially those young brothers who are not involved in that life, but see it and may kind of glorify it because they know that a lot of their rappers did it.
Right.
And speaking of, man, I know last week I touched briefly on the 27 Club about how there was a list of musicians and you know artists who passed away at age 27. Mm-hmm. There's another list that I found this week because like right when I heard about Young Dolph, man, I was like, all right, I already have something that I want to talk about on this episode. So I was looking online regarding, you know, how much violence there is in hip hop and how much, you know, how many people have fallen victim to gun violence in hip hop. Mm-hmm. And I found a list of hip hop artists that were killed because of certain beefs, right? Mm-hmm. So on Wikipedia, there's a list of murdered hip hop musicians, and this is a long, oh my gosh, it's a long list. I'll just say the last name on this list is Young Dolph because his was the most recent. However, this list stretches all the way back to 1987 with the murder of Scott LaRock. But anyway, there's a lot of names on here, man. And just from the looks of it, not one. Okay. All right. Not more than one brother has made it to age 40 on this list. Only one person on here was 44 when they passed. Everybody else was under 40. And some of the names on this list, especially popular names, you know, I know of Scott LaRock, but I can't say I know his music. But I guess some of the more notable names from our time: Tupac Shakur, September 13th, 1996. Was gunned down in Las Vegas at age 25. Yaki Gaddafi, he was a part of Tupac's clique, the Outlaws. He passed away almost 2 months after Tupac was gunned down. He was gunned down at age 19 in November of 96. Then only a few months after that, in March of 1997, Notorious B.I.G. was gunned down in Los Angeles, California at age 24. Fat Pat from the legendary Screwed Up clique. I mentioned him last week when we talked about the 27 Club.
Yeah.
He was gunned down at age 27 in Houston, Texas, his hometown. Big L. A lot of us know Big L, and some of us remember his music. Passed away at age 24. He was gunned down in New York. Freaky Ta. Also, I covered him last week with the 27 Club. He was gunned down at age 27. I mean, you have a lot of other notable names. And this one I remember from when I was a kid. Like, I was 13 when he passed away. Jam Master Jay from the legendary group Run DMC. He was 37 years old when he was gunned down in his studio in Queens. I used to pass that studio often when I was a kid. And just to know that that's where he was murdered, yo, it shook me every day that I passed by that studio. And looking at some more of these names on here, man, you have people like Soulja Slim, who passed away in 2003. He was gunned down in New Orleans. Mac Dre, one of the founders of the hyphy movement in the Bay Area, gunned down in Kansas City, Missouri. He was 34 years old. Proof, one of Eminem's best friends, a member of D12. Proof, he was my favorite D12 member. He was gunned down in 2006 in Detroit, Michigan, his hometown. You have some other memorable names on here like Chinks Drugs. He was a good friend of French Montana, gunned down in 2015. I remember hearing about his passing. XXX Tentacion. I remember when he passed away. Age 20, gunned down in Florida. I think he was in his car and he got shot. And of course, this one definitely shook the nation, man, especially our generation, because we were adults at this time. 2019, March 2019, 2 months after I went to Los Angeles for the very first time, my friends were like, yo, we should hit up Slauson. While we were there in January 2019, we should hit up Slauson. Go ahead and check out this brother's shop. We just never had time. 2 months later, found out that he was gunned down in Los Angeles. Nipsey Hussle, gunned down at age 33 in Los Angeles, California. And almost a year later, Pop Smoke, gunned down at age 20. I believe that one was a home invasion when that happened. Mm-hmm. But that man was 20 years old. Huey. I know we all remember the song Pop, Lock, and Drop It. Mm-hmm. I remember hearing about his passing last year. He was gunned down in Missouri at age 31. King Von. Yep. It has been a year since King Von passed away. But he was gunned down in Atlanta. And I remember hearing about that on the news when it happened. He was only 26. And of course, like I said, the last name on this list is Young Dolph, gunned down in Memphis, his hometown, at age 36. Just a few days ago. And when Mike, when I tell you this list is long, I sent you the link, man.
I believe it.
This list is long. It's a lot of rappers on here. A lot of rappers on here that were gunned down. It looks like only 2 people on here died as a result of being stabbed. Okay, 3 people passed away on here as a result of being stabbed. Everybody else was shot.
Sad.
Why?
I mean, each thing, of course, probably has a different reason, but all the same result. All the same result.
So with that being said, man, I just want to say, my condolences go to Young Dolph's family. My prayers definitely go out to his family, his children, his wife. This is definitely a tragedy, man.
Yep.
And, he'll forever be remembered. But it's sad that we as a culture, we glorify this stuff. And it makes me bring up the question, do Black lives really matter? Do they really matter to us?
We glorify it. We gotta start really realizing what we're rapping. Even if these other rappers are making a song, we gotta realize what we saying. Cause sometimes they can make the wordplay sound so good, bruh, but they don't even realize, you speaking some of this stuff into existence. Bruh, I forgot who I was around, but somebody was rapping a song, and they was just I think it said stretch him out or something. It was something crazy. And I'm thinking to myself, they don't even realize what they just said. Mm-hmm. But because it was so normal, because it was in the song. Mm-hmm. But you don't even think about, you're talking about killing somebody. But we don't realize it. But like we said, we've spent this in another episode, just the power of music and influence that it has. But you got to realize, man, these words hold power. Your words are not just empty things that are just coming out of your mouth. They hold power behind them. So you already know how that goes, though.
And again, like you said with Dolph, man, a lot of these rappers here aren't innocent when it came to their lyrics, man. They were about that street life, and they definitely talked about it. Yep. And I can understand that was their environment that they grew up in, or their environment that they witnessed. Yep. And they talked about it in their music because that's what they witnessed.
Yep.
But yo, like, just thinking about some of these dudes' lyrics, you know, they definitely weren't innocent. And it's like, when does that stop? Again, we talked about the music. We talked about why it's perpetuated so much, why it's pushed so much.
Yeah.
You know, because that's what sells.
Mm-hmm.
But at what point do we as a people start saying, we don't want to hear that no more? We don't want to buy that anymore. If this is what it's going to lead to, if our superstars, if our favorite rappers, if our favorite artists are constantly being gunned down as a result of the music that we're listening to and what we believe in when it comes to these guns, I don't want to buy that anymore. I don't want to support that anymore. I'm not going to pay to see your show if that's all you're talking about. When do we as a people come together and say enough is enough?
You got to get to that point. More enough is enough. It got to hit everybody. Right now, it's only hitting certain people at certain times. It got to hit you till you really feel it. Yo, enough is enough. But right now, they're bops. They're bops.
So to everybody listening, man, I don't want to go on this topic too much longer, but what I want to say to that is, if you feel that enough is enough and you strongly not only just say it, but you feel that enough is enough, voice it. Tell it to your peers. Tell it to your family, whoever's out here really listening to this stuff and trying to live this life. Yo, we need to really let it be known that enough is enough. And this is why I'm grateful that I have this platform. If you don't have a platform to speak on and let people know that you're fed up with this nonsense, create one. There's so much out there for us to do, whether it's through YouTube, whether it's through podcasting, whether it's through anything any form of media that you can come up with to reach a large amount of people at once. If you are a great writer and you want to write, there are different blogs that you can create. Just something. And we need to stop supporting the nonsense. Stop supporting these beefs out here, man.
Yep. I agree.
Anyway, again, my condolences and my prayers go out to Young Dolph's family.
Yes.
And it was such a tragic situation, yo. We really deserve to grow old.
Yeah, I agree.
So, with that being said, man, I kind of want to lighten the mood up a little bit, man. What time is it, Mike?
Right now we're at 6:52.
Right, I wasn't talking about that actual time, but what time of the show?
My bad. Oh man.
What time of the show is it, Mike? What segment are we about to venture into next?
Right now it's time to get into my favorite part, which is the dessert. You know, we all like to get them sweets in.
This man hungry.
You already know.
Bruh.
But it's that time to get into the answers of the week and then the question of the week.
Most definitely.
So
before we get into the answers of the week, the question of the week from last week was, if you had to teach something, what would you teach?
do you want to give our answers first, or you want to get the answers of the people first?
Let's give our answers first.
Okay.
Since last week we gave the people's answers first.
We did.
So if I had to teach anything, if I was just tasked to teach something, anything, right? I would teach our community how to actually be a community. Ooh. I would teach my people, black people, how to actually have our own community. There's one thing that you brought up when we were having this conversation, Mike. You talked about how you have seen Asians and how they operate within their communities, how close-knit they are. Hispanics do the same thing.
Yep, they do.
But when it comes to us, a lot of us have the crab in a barrel mentality.
Yep.
To whereas if, we see somebody else making it like, oh, what's he got that I don't have?
Yep.
If he makes it out of the hood, then what am I going to do? I want to make it out of the hood. I want to get out of here first, I want to make it to the top first. Why I got to let him go? Like, why we always hating on each other, man? And it's not all of us. I know it's not all of us, but there's a select amount of us that do that. And it's toxic. And that spreads. But I would definitely teach group economics and how we need to practice that. And if those of y'all who are listening and watching don't know what group economics is pretty much just spending within your own community. But if you look at Asian people, if you look at Indian people, Pakistani people, they own a lot of businesses, and they make sure that their money is exchanged within their community multiple times before it ever leaves their community and goes into somebody else's hands.
Yeah.
Black people, when we get $1, we spend it with the Asians. We spend it with the Indians at their gas stations, because a lot of us don't own gas stations. A lot of us don't own, a lot of us do own restaurants, but we're quick to go spend it at somebody else's restaurant instead of like a black-owned business. Which, of course, shout out to all the black-owned businesses out there. I definitely want to start to do something to acknowledge those people, those businesses whenever we get a chance. But, I would teach group economics. There's somebody who I listen to a lot who teaches group economics. His name is Dr. Claude Anderson. And I learned about group economics from him. So if you guys have the opportunity to listen to group economics and really understand it, go ahead and search up Dr. Claude Anderson. You can find him in countless videos on YouTube. I believe even the Breakfast Club has interviewed him once or twice before. So yeah, you can find videos out there with him and him teaching group economics. But once I learned about that, man, I was like, yo, this is the key. This is what we need to build our communities. This is what we really need to flourish in this country. So that's what I would teach.
First and foremost, that's really dope. I'm not gonna lie to you, and I think that is something that is extremely needed. For real.
I'm working on a plan, man. I'm working on putting something together for us.
Nah, let's do that. For real. For me, I think what I would do is I would you kind of made me shift my eyes a little bit, but more so it's kind of just stemming around like the power that we have as humans, like the power of our minds and how to really use it in a constructive way. I think right now we're in a state and time where you have other people or other systems that's in place that knows the power of our mind, and it uses it against us. As far as, so if we don't know, we don't know. Like for me, I believe the media, the news media, it has an agenda behind it, and it preys on people that don't understand their mind, and it puts certain things in front of them because, hey, this is what we gonna get them to gear towards, right? And if you don't understand that, then you won't be like, hold on, that's not, I don't want to think that. But then if you're not thinking about that, you just feed right into it. It's like a cattle. You're just gonna go wherever they tell you to go. So for me, I would just teach people kind of like the power of your mind and how to use it constructively to really truly make an impact on this world in the way that you want to, versus someone else just imposing something on you.
I love that, yo.
Yeah, I think we need it.
We do.
But to get into the answers that you beautiful people, our family, have given us this week, here we go. All right, the first one we have is from Jatani Rivers. She said microbiology, immunology, or biology. Hey, salute to you, because that is not easy.
Nope. She's in pharmacy school, so shout out to you.
This makes sense.
Yep. So she's heavy into the sciences, man.
Salute to you. So from the real Shawnee Knox, he said, I would teach the power of reciprocity.
That's really good. That's needed.
That is
in
actually.
This world.
That makes me think, like, wow, you don't think about that.
No, you don't.
That's good. I like that. All right. So from the Amber Nicole, she said dance classes. Okay, she liked to dance. Okay. So from Nizzy Naya, she said financial literacy. That's extremely important.
It is. Financial literacy is definitely important.
Oh my gosh, that we need that.
Yeah.
So from Diamond Made Dre, she said, I would teach the difference of being a survivor versus victim of abuse. Wow, that sounds deep. Sounds like that's something most definitely
a lot of people could use.
Yeah, most for real. So from Rick's Design Graphics, he said Forex because it's a strategy. Once you master it, the income is limitless.
These are facts.
So he on some wealth building stuff.
Of course, man. We need that.
For sure.
And I strongly believe that generational wealth is something that could help you break generational curses.
Yes, sir.
That's something I strongly believe in, and I will stand on top of that hill.
I agree.
To the day I no longer breathe. You know what I'm saying?
I agree on that one. So from the roll up, Shout out Sauce Brady. He said the power of positivity. I can definitely see that because that brother he stays encouraging for real. For real.
And yo, I'm surprised he ain't mentioned nothing about chiefing.
Not this time. He probably wanted to put it at the end though.
Hey, it probably wasn't enough room. Come on, dog. I know. Every single answer, you got chiefing involved. What happened, man?
He probably gonna put the power of positivity while chiefing.
Hey, salute to that brother and shout out to him, man. Check out the Roll Up podcast. Yes. Yo, he's very inspirational. For real.
And but last not least, Victoria Aja Beauty said, "Makeup and beauty business, my new job, and I'm loving it."
That's what's up.
Yes.
Shout out to every single person who answered the question of the week. We greatly appreciate y'all.
We really do.
And again, shout out to my podcast people out there. So the Roll Up, salute, man. You know, we tap in. And, we look forward to that collab whenever it happens. And
very soon.
The Amber Nicole, shout out to Amber, 1/4 of the Nice Nasty podcast. That collab is also in the works. So, yeah, man, shout out to the podcasters. And for those of y'all who want to be podcasters again, I highly suggest that you guys just get started. Start.
Yep.
Just start.
Yep. Because you never know where it may take you.
Man, you ain't said nothing but a word.
I'm telling you. Look, 14 episodes in.
Consistently. Not one break.
Come on now.
Not one break.
Now, look at it. This is going to take us so far into something that I know we haven't even tapped into yet.
You're right.
So we shout out to all our 41 subscribers.
Hey, shout out to all 41 subscribers. Shout out to all 202 people who follow us on Instagram.
Shout out to everybody in Germany, Pakistan, India that listen to us as well.
Yo, that's crazy. We're international with it. I love it.
We are. Shout out to all of them.
So definitely, this has been a heavy episode.
Yep.
But it's something that I think was needed to kind of shine some light on everything that we have going on in our community. And again, if I could teach anything, it would be group economics, because I want us to understand the importance of exchanging money within our community over and over and over again before it ever leaves the Black community, and the importance of us hiring each other at our jobs or at our businesses. One thing that I see a lot with the other communities, like the Asian community and a lot of the Indian community or the Pakistani community or the Middle Eastern community, for that matter, they hire within their families. There's something that's like very powerful behind that. Like, you're giving your people an opportunity, not just a job, but you're giving them an opportunity to make money and to make something of themselves. So that's something I definitely would strongly recommend. And, we might actually have an episode strictly focused on that in the future, so we can teach more about it. But again, man, shout out to everybody who answered the question of the week last week. And we do have another one for y'all this week.
What is it, B?
Have you done anything lately worth remembering? And that popped into my head as a result of course, hearing about Young Dolph. Granted, he was well known for his music. So many people knew him for his music. But you also mentioned how he was known for real estate, and, how he was known for supporting Black businesses and showcasing Black businesses. Like, that brother was really doing things major.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Doing major things. And it was just like, he will definitely be remembered for everything that he's accomplished before he left this earth.
Yes.
Again, the question of the week. Have you done anything lately worth remembering?
Makes me think about myself right now.
I'm going to give my answer right now because I want to.
Go ahead.
My answer is started this podcast.
Wow. That's real. That's real talk.
This is one thing that I've done lately that will certainly be remembered.
Nah, that's real talk. And I don't want that to be mine because you gave that. So I ain't going to get mine yet. I'm going to think of something else.
Understood.
But that's real talk. And it's funny you said it. I was thinking about that while we were talking about this, like the episode. Like, we're doing something that's going to impact people later on down the line. So, yeah, you're right.
That's why I figured I'd go first, because I had a feeling you might say it. So I was like, let me beat you to it.
You know what I'm saying? It's all right. I'm going to think of something else. But nah, that's really good, y'all. So, yes, the question of this week is, have you done anything lately worth remembering? So, y'all already know how to get at us. Instagram, YouTube, you can put it in the comment section.
Make sure you're subscribed first.
Message!
Yeah. Or you can actually email us at residualimpactpodcast@gmail.com.
We'd love to hear from you. We can't wait to hear more answers of the week.
Yeah.
For this question of the week, because I have a feeling that a lot of y'all out there are making major moves, and it's going to be something worth remembering. So,
big facts.
With that being said,
you already know, my brother.
Another one. Yo,
hey.
Consistency is key.
It is key. Brings about progress.
It does.
That's what we want.
And that's what we will get.
And that's why we here.
All day.
Every day.
Every week.
I ain't got nothing. I got nothing.
Hey, so with that being said, family, thank y'all so much for tuning into episode 14 of the Residual Impact Podcast.
Yes.
We hope that you really took something away from today's episode.
Please.
And again, it's not to harp on anybody in our culture, but I mean, yo, we have to wake y'all up somehow. So if shock value is what's going to wake you up, or if some sort of criticism is going to wake you up, this is coming from the heart, man.
Yeah.
I'm not perfect. Mike's not perfect. No. We know y'all aren't perfect, but we have to do things differently if we want to get different results. We cannot keep doing the same stuff.
Real talk.
So, Mike, what do we tell the people every week when we leave?
Where you are today is a residual outcome of the thoughts you have had in the past.
That is the absolute truth, and we live by it. You should too.
Peace.
Till next week. Peace.